Good morning, everybody. Second day on the trip to Crater Lake. We're just leaving Winthrop. It's 8:30 in the morning and we're trying to beat a bit of the heat today. We're going to make our way to a place called Moses Lake via Chelan and then hopefully go for a swim at lunchtime. That will definitely be needed. We're going to go through a few places we've been through before. One of them is Palouse. We'll be making our way eventually to Dayton from Palouse Falls. Dayton's not very far from that. It's going to be about a 5-hour trip today. Great stay in the hotel last night, Applewood. It's right on the eastern end of Winthrop. Really good value for money, super neat, clean rooms, nothing spectacular, but compared with some of the other hotels there, 20% of the price. No, I'm joking, but 50% of the price would be reasonable, and really nice. Good little breakfast, you know, just a buffet breakfast, boiled eggs, pancakes, waffles, no sausages, no bacon, 2 types of bread, coffee, tea, you know, everything just to get you going quickly and easily in the morning. We're going to stop for coffee around 10 o'clock, maybe in Chelan or something like that. I don't know if you remember if I showed it or if I will include it in the clip yesterday, but I was behind a guy on a bike. I couldn't tell what he was on, but he seemed to be thinking that I was trying to race him, so I backed off a fair bit. He was all over the place. He had a woman on the back, a lady pillion on the back. And I didn't know what it was from the back. It turns out it was one of those Honda CB1100s, the retro ones, air-cooled with an oil cooler on the front. He stayed at the same hotel last night. I never got to speak to him. I'm not sure I'd be touring on it. It's very small. I was quite amazed with how small it was. But the panniers, God knows how much money he spent on the hard panniers for that bike. But they are literally, the 2 panniers that hang either side, literally no wider than 6 inches. I don't know what you get in there. Big top box, wide but low. More to do with style than I think, you know, functionality. But nevertheless, he's making a go of it. So good luck to him. They must have packed even lighter than us. I think we've got, judging my weight this morning, 40 pounds in one of the side panniers, 35 in the other, and probably 50 in the top one. And the bike is handling it so well. My wife's on the back. She's a moderate svelte. You know, what? Somewhere less than 150 pounds for sure, and I'm doing 175, 185 pounds, and yeah, I won't say you won't notice it. About 10 to 15 to 20% off performance, I would say, when going up 6,000, 7,000 feet, but it's still more than enough to go past cars easily without dropping a gear. And of course I've got comms as well, which I haven't talked to you guys about. So far they're working really well. They seem to last the whole day. There were a couple of times where they sort of lost connection with each other, twice out of 6 hours. I think it was my iPhone interfering, Bluetooth connection, because suddenly music would come on and I'd lose my wife. So I'm not sure it's entirely the comm's fault. Good morning, sir. You're starting to see the fire, the remnants of the fire that we came through 2 or 3 years ago. This was all scorched black. There was a thunderstorm and the heaviest rain, and still it was all smoking. It looked like something out of a dystopian novel as we came through here. It was unreal. We're getting closer and closer to Palouse, which I think was the heart of the fire. One thing I remember about it was that as we were coming through Palouse, there was everything was leveled, everything, all the buildings, all the houses, and there was one house with this sort of white picket fence around it and perfectly manicured, watered lawn in a perfect rectangle on the hillside, and that was absolutely untouched, and all around it was black and scorched. He was probably the least popular person in the neighborhood because he was using so much of the precious water out here, but he was the one with the biggest grin after the forest fire, that's for sure. But I just remember seeing that stark contrast of all this blackness and his one oasis-like residence just still perfectly intact and standing. It's just the best canyon riding through here. You're following a river all the way through, and you've got these lovely ups and downs, dips and turns. Something that always amazes people who don't ride motorcycles is the smells and the differences in air temperature. Yesterday we were riding along in 37 degrees Celsius, and every now and again you would go into a gully and it would be probably 20, but it felt like it was minus 20. Just gorgeous, refreshing, and it was air following some sort of creek that was crossing. Ooh, this guy flashed at me. Not the local cop, hopefully. Following the Metho Valley right now. Don't think it's got anything to do with crack or anything like that. It's just beautiful canyon riding. Lovely. Get away early in the morning after Winthrop. Head towards Palouse. You will be in for a lovely, lovely surprise. We just passed a fruit stand. I think we're going to go get a couple of apricots or something. And whoa, it's nice and cool down here by this river. 24 Celsius, 921. Its temperature got up to 27 on the way through the canyon there. But it's cooled right down, which is nice. A little oasis up here. They obviously irrigate. Cold beer, lunch. I have a feeling it would be quite fun living out here. The pickers are there. I got to fix my GPS because it's playing up. I'm going to sit underneath one of these big cottonwoods or whatever it is, pistachio, I don't know, pecan. Fix this thing. We just had two delicious, ripe, sweet, dripping peaches. You got a touch of what it's like without a screen. There you go. We're on our way now through Chelan to a place called Mansfield, and then from there down to Ephrata, Shifata, I'm not sure. A white van, for God's sakes. A white van in all this scenery. How does it happen? Unbelievable. Love it. Lovely roads. New road surface. Yep. Bad rock. And I would guess there was a fire there. Most of the crop was lost. Probably a piece of glass reflecting the light. We've seen a bit on the road.
Well, I guess that's what you get when you come to a place called Dry Falls. It's what you get on the tin, Dry Falls. Absolutely no sign of any waterfalls whatsoever. Still, a pretty spot if you could get down there. Very deserty.
Sort of truck full of chairs and tables and all sort of higgledy-piggledy. I think it's definitely time to say goodbye to this guy. Okay, Blue Marble Riders. It's sometime later in day 2. It's been so hot today I just couldn't face vlogging. Got up to 44 Celsius at one point. It's now 3:30 in the afternoon. We went for our swim, but there wasn't really. I didn't go in. The lake was green with some sort of algae bloom because it's so warm. The temperature has come down to a balmy 39 Celsius. It's actually come down to 39. Oh, just as you were looking, it went to 40 again. That's 4 degrees less than the highest we've had it today. Here. Look at that. What is that? If it wasn't 40 Celsius, I'd get off and take a chunk, but I literally don't think my legs would work. Jesus, it's hot. It's like a freaking hairdryer. Just a long straight road. We're up to 41 now. 41 Celsius, right there. And I'll never get to that Mirage, Blue Marble Riders. It just seems to be pulling away from me all the time. A decent road full of curly whirlies, takes your mind off the heat. This is the road going to Palouse Falls. It's beautiful, lots of twisties. Very, very nice road. Even with a fully laden bike, you're having fun. Sort of through gulches and all sorts. Hot though, very, very hot. Air blowing everywhere. Lots of windage. Pretty. My bun's on fire. My intercom's out so I can say what I want. Wifey can't hear me. Down to a balmy 40 now, really nice. To buzz down a dirt road to get here. It's fairly entertaining with a 1,000-pound bike basically, but we got here luckily without any mishaps. Road was fully rutted. These are the Palouse Falls. They're very, very beautiful. Probably look tiny in this, but they're actually quite tall. I'm trying to get a scale on it, but maybe 120 feet high. Starbuck, I guess, as it's in Washington State and the owner comes from Washington State. I wonder if there's a connection. Interesting. A lot of coffee being in the place, today, and fittingly it's 6 o'clock PM. This is Dayton. So far so good, it's quite nice. It's like a little oasis in the middle of this desert here.
Well, what can you say about Dayton? It's a cute little place. It took a hell of a long time to get there. It was very hot, but there were some wonderful views. Also, a curiosity was we saw a family of turkeys walking down the street. I don't think that's a representation of what the actual citizens are like. And they have motorcycle parking. And a really, really nice station. The hotel itself screwed up our booking, but they made it up to us as long as we paid $20 more. Best Western, Dayton. Take your chances. It's not all negative, though. They do have a fabulous microbrewery, the Firehouse Grill, I believe it's called. Firehouse something. You'll find it. And the Best Western does have a motorcycle washing station, which is kind of nifty. Episode 3 of this tour through Washington State and Oregon to Crater Lake will be coming shortly. Please don't forget to leave a like and a sub, particularly if you liked what you saw. Until next time, this is the Blue Marble Rider, out.